Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So today on the No Hope Estate, I'm going to preface that this could be a very short episode or a very long episode depending upon how things go. We are going to do a boss that I am not sure is going to be plausible on this estate. The Destroyer from the Stars. This boss has some very iffy shenanigans going on that try to make it a harder thing from the stars. However, in its shenanigans, I'm not sure if it isn't working as intended or just make it interesting, trying to keep things YouTube friendly. It is essentially the clone of the Thing from the Stars made harder. It's it on steroids and speed. And it takes the Things from the Stars' ability to summon the crystals. But it adds that to a lot of different moves, and it can summon up to 2 a round. However, it also summons them after the first action, and sometimes even after some of your heroes have gone, taking away your ability to destroy them before they explode. So that's why I say this fight has some weirdness to it, in the fact of like, it can get very, very dicey very quickly because, well, what happens when everyone I have has gone, and then he summons 2 of them? They're gonna explode, they're gonna do a lot of damage to me, and then he's just gonna summon more the next turn, and it's not damage I can mitigate in any way. It's almost unfair in a way. Now, that being said, this is gonna become a very, very quick damage race, and because of that, I'm going to be bringing out a set of tools that I've kinda used before, but not to this degree, and to a point I've avoided using them to this degree. I'm not sure it's going to work as intended, but I am planning on tearing him apart as fast as possible, essentially. And we'll see if that works. And if not, well, I'm about to lose these 4 heroes, and we'll move on to something else later in this episode. If not, there's another boss after the Destroyer from the Stars that I've actually never fought, and I would like to fight. And that boss probably is harder than this one. But with that being said, let's get into the party for today, because the Thing's Remains trophy is actually really good, plus 66% bleed amount and plus 50% bleed amount, on top of whatever trinket that it's deciding to give you, and 75 comet shards and 30 crusts here. It's huge. With that, I almost have enough comet shards for one of those 300 shard trinkets. So we're going to be using Jean the Judicator. She has dual convocation here to do damage versus blighted, but we also have Indictment Brand to lower bleed resistance, and I actually might be using that this time around. It also marks the target, so that dual convocation does more damage. I have Amber Nail to blight with armor piercing, lowering protection, and I have Calcified Combination for a riposte. For her 2 trinkets, I have the Ring of Kalimdor to do on-hit blight and damage versus blighted, and the Poisoned Skull for the same effect, essentially. Next up, we have our Silent, which I'm going to be opening with Catalyst, because essentially everyone is going to be blighting here, and this does a 6 for 3 blight, and does 100% extra blight amount versus bladed, so essentially this will do a 12 for 3 blight on the opening round, with the added effect of Twisted Funnel doing an extra 4 for a 16 blight on the opening round. And I do Tools of the Trade, probably a Piercing Wail so I take less damage and crit, or Neutralize to up the crits received on him, and just keep dancing like that. Or I can Corpse Explosion some of the nodes down. Next up, we have Paracelsus the Plague Doctor. Noxious Blast for a blight, lowering accuracy. Plague Grenade to hit the back rows, Battlefield and Medicine if I need to remove bleed and or blight. We have the Poisoned Herb to up blight chance and blight amount but lowering the duration, and a Blight Amulet to up bleed resist and blight amount. And finally, Vigo. This is where the shenanigans come in. So everyone here does blight, a lot of it, and he can do Implode, upping the bleed and blight amount applied from any hero by 100%. So for an example, Noxious Blast with Para, with all of her trinkets, does roughly 12 or 13, I think it is. So one use of this turns it to 26. But then I have the Diploma of Honors equipped, removing the usage limit on Implode, meaning I can use this every single turn. So it goes from, let's put it at 12. I use Implode, it goes to 24. The next turn it goes to 36, 48, and it just keeps multiplying like that every single turn I use Noxious Blast. It ramps up very quickly. Now I will take double the Bleed and Blight to multiplied, but I think it's worth it. We also have Tick-Tock to go faster, and well, that's what we'll be using. And that's all I plan on doing. And then we have the Ancestor's Coat on him so that he can dodge should anything attack him, putting him at a 35 dodge. Not the highest dodge, but it is a survivability thing. So with that being said, let's test out the Thing from the Stars. So, because this is a one-room fight, I don't need food, I don't need shovels, but we will need anti-venom bandages, medicinal herbs, laudanum, holy water, and torches, just because I think that ups my accuracy there. Then, because he does use stress, I'm going to bring some amphitheaters. I'm going to take memorials here, just because that lowers the crits received. This is a kind of iffy fight, so I don't want to be taking crits. I'm also going to be taking anathemums here for the debuff and blight chance. I'm going to be taking training ribbons just because I can't afford to miss at all. And then I am going to take some performance ribbons so that my people I need to do go faster than him. Let's go. The Thing from the Stars, as you can see it says the Thing from the Stars, not the Destroyer from the Stars, will eventually consume himself if one can survive long enough. But due to the estate rules, that's going to be very hard to do. As you can see, he's probably going to be in this room here. We're going to use performance ribbons on everyone. This is stress relief done, which doesn't really matter, and plus speed. Training ribbon for the plus accuracy, so we actually hit him. Anathema is plus blight chance and plus debuff chance. Memorial is so I don't get crit as often. And Anathema is so we get minus crits received. Torch is for accuracy on one battle. And Holy Water so we don't get bled or blighted. And possibly stunned.
A menace of unconscionable alienage.
And as you can see, he is just kind of a recolored Thing from the Stars. He is a Husk, he is Eldritch, he has 30 dodge, 5 speed, 242 health, 90 blight resistance, 83 bleed, 90 debuff. And the movement resistance doesn't really matter too much as of yet. And all of his skills are really that of from the Thing from the Stars, just amped up a bit. We're going to Noxious Blast him. 13 blight, minus 7 accuracy. I'm going to Tick-Tock Paracelsus, and I'm going to implode her. That way I double that blight amount. Tools of the trade. And we're going to Catalyst to hopefully get a really big blight off here. 33. Ouchie. That was with minus crits received as well. I am going to try to lower the blight resistance. Also marking him for a time. That way Convocation does more. Oh, he didn't summon anything. I'm kinda surprised. But then once again he cures the blight and then he summons 2 aberrations here. So I'm gonna Plague Grenade him in the back row. That is a 17 blight now. Gonna try to Corpse Explosion one of these.
Another abomination cleansed from
Only
our
a 6
land.
out of the 7, so I probably need to implode on her so that the Corpse Explosion takes out the rest of these in the future. And then taking out the other aberration before it goes boom.
Pit.
Ouchie. So that's stress, and I can't really see what the debuff does. Imploding on Para once more, so I do more blight damage to Destroyer from the Stars. We're going to Plague Grenade, or Noxious Blast him. And that is now a 27. Corpse Explosion the Aberration.
Be gone, fiend.
And that is now a 39 blight. He's no longer marked, but we can dual Convocation him. 45 damage. And the blights should take him out. He does have an action that can summon those mid-fight, and that's what I had a problem with last time.
Turn to them.
So that wasn't so bad. So we did get a memory. We got 15 comet shards, which means with the reward, I'm going to have enough for one of the trinkets I want, which are the 300s. And a little bit of gold, which is kind of funny. So that was kind of the easier time I've had fighting him. The last time that fight went on for a little bit more, and he tore me a new one because I wasn't able to break the aberrations because he kept summoning them more towards the end of his round, and he never did that this time around, which is kind of funny. I wonder if that got patched. So we did get the crest, we got the things remains, we got the 75 comet shards, meaning we got 90 total. And then the virtuous padlock for the abomination, which I'm probably never going to use. Disease on Vigo. The fit, so plus speed, minus accuracy, minus crit. Prismatic coagulation, so plus bleed resistance, replacing Beast Slayer. Misses a spot, so minus crit, that doesn't matter too much. So the fits is actually kind of good for him with how I've been using them lately. Claustrophobia on Paracelsus. Antsy on the Silent. Reckless, so plus crit plus damage received on Jean. Hot to Trot is really good, replacing Yokai Slayer. Ooh.
In truth,
Shrieker's
I cannot
Prize.
tell how much time has passed since I sent that letter.
So Sanitarium getting rid of rabies on Baldwin. Thought someone else might have a disease, I'm not entirely sure here. Other than Vigo. Corsi, you are good to go into stress relief, and I think that's all I'm going to need to do there. We can get rid of Unquiet Mind, get rid of Witness here, and another Unquiet Mind on Pantool. Okay. I know the Shriekling is available. I don't really care about this trinket too much. The plus bleed chance is nice on the Callous Talon, but eh. I've never been able to fight this boss. Technically I was able to, but it was like a big white box the last time I went to fight it. So I've never actually fought this boss. It gives plus 100 comet shards. It gives these question marks carapace, which is 150% damage reflection on being hit, bleed and blight 2 for 3 rounds to the target that hit you, and it gives the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, which is a trinket I've been kind of on and off about getting for the Strange. I'm kind of interested in getting it. I know it's a one-room fight, and I still know its resistances and all that from a video I have back, as long as those aren't changed. I just know it's a big white box, or at least that is what it looked like to me. So I'm kind of interested to go fight it, and because the Destroyer from the Stars was so short, I'm kind of interested in just going in with this group. And the Fits actually works out with how this works, because this would just give him plus speed and I wouldn't be using it for accuracy or crit. I can get rid of Claustrophobia later, I can get rid of Antsy later, and well, the Reckless and Risk Taker aren't great. It kind of is what it is. We can roll with it. I do have 313 shards, and I have been wanting this trinket for a while, so I'm going to buy the Timeless Seeds. It's plus 5 accuracy. I kind of want to see the difference here. They're both plus 5 accuracy. They're both plus whatever chance. The Timeless Seeds is plus blight chance. The Everlasting Thorn is bleed chance. Otherwise, they're minus healing done and minus healing received. Plus 10% stress. And then they're both the on-attack hit. One is blight, one is bleed for 3 rounds. In this case, I'm getting the Timeless Seeds. Just because it's going to help a little bit more on this boss, I believe. And we're going to change out the Blight Stone I have. This is just the Blight Chance, because the stones have the plus Blight Chance on them as is, and this gives plus 5 accuracy and on attack hit Blight. So I think this works out better for the Silent while keeping Para the same, Jean the same, and Vigo the same. So we're going to go in and do the Investigate the Strange Thing. A strange thing has been found in the Farmstead. Go and investigate it. I'm kind of excited to see what it is, because, well, I've not actually seen what it was. My game in the 3.5 state started glitching out at this point. So let's go do just that and have some fun. And then we'll call it kinda complete with the Farmstead after this, yeah? I remember this being a one-room fight, so let's not take any extra BS. I'm assuming I'm gonna need the Laudanum for stress, so let's bring that, especially because some people here got some stress for them. I'm just gonna pull the same kind of thing and realistically hope that the blight carries me here. Now, as for the ribbons, let's see here. I think I'm going to want the amphitheaters here because that's minus stress received and movement resistance if that's going to be a thing. I don't know. Let's bring memorials because that's minus crits received and that's going to be huge because it's mainly for Paracelsus and Silent, but if they take a bigger crit, they're kind of boned. Jean and to a lesser extent Vigo, they can take a little bit more of a hit and be fine, but I'm definitely taking Anatheniums here. That's plus debuff chance, and I will be using Indictment Brand when I can. Otherwise, that's plus Blight chance. I have 3 left. Part of me says bring trainings. Part of me says bring altars. I only have 6 altars, so if I bring the altars now, I can't do the Neurorion next. Or rather, I can, but it would be very, very risky. So I should do the Beholder, the Captain, or the Matron next if I bring these, but this would make me feel safer. And then I can either bring Performance for a little speed, so either Para and the Silent go faster so they can start blighting faster, or I can bring the Training so I can have a better chance of hitting and have a little protection on the side so I don't get hit as hard. Maybe we do that because accuracy is king. Yeah, you know, what happens if I take away those anti-venoms there? Then I get 2 chances at the performances that I wanted for the 2 people that I really wanted. I have memorials, I have the training. Yeah, that's fine. So let's go to the fight. So everyone gets holy water. We're going to use the torch for the accuracy. Everyone gets a training ribbon. Everyone gets an altar ribbon. This is for the stun resistance. I'm assuming he's going to stun us. And Athena for the blight and debuff chance. Memorial so I don't get crit as often, which probably still will be a thing, let's be honest. Amphitheater for the movement resistance and minus stress received. And then I'm going to performance ribbon. This is more for the speed, so that Silent and Para go faster. Oh, what in the unholy hell is that thing? Cosmic. Is this supposed to be the comet? I mean, I see little tendrils moving, and I see maybe where it cracked open here, and I see eyes. Is this supposed to be the comet? I think it's size 3. I mean, it's kinda cool looking. Yeah, I think these are supposed to be arms. And then this is gonna... This is a mouth, I think. Okay. I see the design, I like it. Noxious Blast Blighting. 100 Blight Resistance, but we got it. 100 Bleed Resistance too, so it really wouldn't have mattered what I brought. 30 protection, 31 dodge, 6 speed, 364 health. 90 debuff as well. We're going to tick-tock Para so she goes faster. Then we're also going to implode her. The crit on her doesn't really matter.
The will to fight. Focus.
And then we're going to Catalyst and hope that the Bugle goes off and Timeless Seeds go off, and then that's going to be a grand total of 6, 12, 15, 19 Blight, hopefully. Blight. So 39. Awesome start. We're going to Indictment Brand it. Resisted everything, but it did get marked. I want to lower the Blight resistance there. Oh, that is a weird mouth. Kind of bad stress there. So Laudanum is great.
The blood.
Noxious Blast. Resisted. Imploding. Um... 20... So realistically, she only has a 60% blight chance unless the debuff goes off, which is a 50-50. Let's Noxious Fumes. Ooh. And that did knock us back, okay. And then I'm not going to get the debuff off like I wanted to, so good thing I did Noxious Fumes. This is still fine. We're going to Tools of the Trade. And then we're going to Piercing Wail to lower the damage, lower the crit. Bladed for 29. Imploding on Para. Just keep stacking that up. Para, if you would. Blight went off. Bladed for 63. Kind of... Oh, unholy hell, that hurts. And that heals.
From becoming unwound.
Lowering the blight resistance. No, Calcified Condemnation, get them going at Jean. Blighting again. Blighted for 71. Tick-tock implode. So that she goes faster, and then she does more blight. Right now she has 300%, that's going to a 400% blight amount. Now we're going to Indictment Brand after we get Laudanum going. Debuff went off, great. Curl. Please don't tell me that cured the blight. It did not cure the resistances, so that is good. We need to Holy Water on her because I cannot have any dots going off on silent. Tools of the Trade into Catalyst. Which unfortunately feels like a little bit of a waste. But on the other hand, it doesn't do damage, and there's a riposte right there, which is gonna hurt like hell. Actually, it goes off because of Timeless Seeds. And then you're gonna Holy Water because you're actually gonna be hitting. And that still bled us. For 30? Oh yeah, because of, What's the actual speed? 43 this turn, but otherwise... Okay. I have a plan. Blighted for 18, so that blight didn't go off, did it? Disrupt gets rid of the riposte. Let's do that. And then Tools of the Trade. And then we're gonna Piercing Wail. Lower the damage if I can. Uh-oh.
Precision and power.
I needed Vigo in 4, not in... Oh, hell. Well, that throws the plan off. Let's try to Indictment Brand again. Waited for 27.
And now the true
Bandaging.
test. Hold fast or expire.
And hoping this blights. Bladed for 68. Holy Water. And here's the thing. As long as he doesn't cure the blight, he's gonna go down, but I can't have Para anywhere besides 2 and back, so Vigo, you need to stay in 1. Gonna backflip. That way Jean can maybe do something. Tools of the trade. Catalyst for more blight. Blighted for 86. 92. Dual convocation marked and blighted. So yes, they have a very high protection, but as long as I hit 92 minus, or 117 minus 92, that's roughly 25. So, but I'm also going to be adding 3 blight to the hit, so we'll see what happens. Not enough. Well, cured the blight, but it didn't attack me. Healed again, but once again didn't do damage to me. Blighted for 41. Let's neutralize to do damage, getting rid of the block. It's bladed for 44. I need to do 5 damage. I need to do 2 damage. Dual Convocation takes it out. That was a tiny bit close. A tiny bit close. 60 protection now. Wow. Just want to see how high I can get that blight. We're going to catalyst it. 112. 118.
Does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Oh, hey guys, you lived. Okay, so 115 Comet Shard drop, 2 memories, and 3 stacks of gold, and another
A burden of
500.
risks life and limb.
I didn't think I was going to get the Destroyer from the stars, let alone that. I didn't get that on the 3.5 estate, everyone. This estate officially has done things the 3.5 estate couldn't do, which had healing. And 100... So I got 150 Comet Shards, was it? On top of the Comet Shard reward here, so that's 250. We got the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, 600 or 16,000 gold reward, and then this Carapace, which is damage reflection, which, remember, Old Man Yells at Cloud build. He also had the Reflection build, which had already one thing that did 50% damage reflection and upped his max HP. This is going to put him at 200% damage reflection. Oh man, I can't wait to use Baristan. Baristan on DD2 or DD3, I think it's DD2, is going to be amazing. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait. And all these guys can go into treatment. Like, they deserved everything. Love interest, we can get rid of that. Daredevil, that's fine. Cophobe, Hashimoto's, and Wary, yeah. You know, you guys have a lot of R&R coming up. Probably not being used for a very long time. Guys, early retirement, unless something emergent comes up.
You answered the letter. Now, like me, you are a part of this place.
We'll take the Risen Mask just because we can. It's plus damage in certain situations. Otherwise, all the trinkets here aren't that great. Jean, love interest needs to go away. Then she needs to get rid of Reckless. Then probably Unquiet Mind. We're going to lock in a Hot to Trot, so plus accuracy, damage, and crit on the first round. Then we'll probably lock in Eldritch Shader just in case I bring her to the DD4. Getting rid of Antsy on Silent here. Don't need to lock anything else in. Didn't really need anything on Vigo, so we can get rid of the Fits. While we're getting rid of Claustrophobia on Para, who already has mostly everything she needs. Hey Baldwin, go ahead and get some stress relief, buddy. Oh, I can't believe that worked out the way it did. So nothing else in the farmstead here. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, if that's the end. Actually, I'm gonna try to get a hold of Void here quick. Either way, I think that is the last boss in the farmstead. I'll ask around really quick to make sure that is. If not, we'll level up the farmstead a little bit more. But I do believe that's probably the last boss from the farmstead. I'm wondering if that is the boss from the Endless Harvest, but it was an interesting boss nonetheless. It was kinda cool. Wondering if it had more attacks I just didn't see because we kinda rushed through it, but that leaves the Night Parade, which I think I'm going to try next time. The Grieving Neurorion, and then the Night Parade, and then the 3 Wandering bosses, and then the DD4. The plan I have for the Neurorion is some more shenanigans that is going to be very luck based. I'm going to be very honest about this. So all that dodge build stuff I had been testing in the Sunward Isles was kind of specifically for this, just to see how viable it was. So we pretty much found out that I can get Hush to like 80 some dodge, I think it was, between the Trapped Onabi and this, and that's what I would use on him. I would be bringing the Grave Robber because she has that Ornate Sensu, and then the Lucky Talisman. I would probably actually bring the Omen Seeker just because she has a similar effect that gets her plus 50 dodge the lower her health is. And I'm not sure who the last one would be, but I would be doing something similar with the last hero. And then I would have all dodge trinkets on them, is kind of my thought there. And then I have to hope that I can get through the entire wave-based thing without any mishaps, essentially, and go from there. The problem comes in is with the Neurorion, is with this setup. I do have a way to bypass guard with Baliol. Okay. I just have to be very careful about it. Gotcha. I'm not sure if I have any other heroes that do the same while having a high dodge, but I could maybe test that out and go from there. But that's kind of my thought process going into the Old Man's Procession, and that would have to kind of be the plan. Otherwise, the last hero might be able to be like a permanent stealth hero, kind of like if I were to somehow every other round, I would have to like use Spirited Cry on the Falconeer or something like that, I think. Or something along those lines. I think that might work. There's a few different things I could try to do. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a dodge hero in that final slot. I can think about that and go from there, but I'm just honestly not sure how I want to go about it. But I think that would be the safest bet on getting through it. And yeah, we'll go from there, because realistically, that's what's left other than the Beholder, which is in the ruins. Actually, this is a really good time to go fight him because there is no Wandering boss there. And then there's the Talon Matron as well, and the Drowned Captain. So I'm not sure which one I want to do, but those are the really 4 things that are left other than the Darkest Dungeon. So we're getting closer and closer, and I've gotten more things done than I thought I would get done. I'm kind of excited for it, but I'll leave it at that and we'll go from there. So that'll be it for this time. Next time, one of the other bigger things I wanted to get done, but I wasn't sure I was going to get done. So that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I will see you next time, and please have a good one.